What would you do if you suddenly lost power and had to manage your medical needs? It's a question that might send shivers down your spine, but it's an essential one to ponder. In a world where power outages can occur at any moment, understanding your specific medical needs becomes crucial. Let's start by assessing your unique needs and those of your dependents. Do you or someone in your family have a chronic condition like diabetes or heart disease? Are you dependent on specific medications or medical equipment? These are the kinds of questions you need to ask yourself. The answers will help you create a comprehensive list of all the medical supplies you need. Imagine you're preparing for a long journey. You wouldn't just pack your bags haphazardly, would you? No, you'd make a list of everything you need, double-check it, and then pack accordingly. The same principle applies when preparing for medical needs without power. You need to know what you're dealing with so you can plan effectively. Now, onto that list, it should include all necessary medications, medical supplies, and equipment you and your dependents use. It should be as detailed as possible, specifying the medication's names, dosages, and frequency of use. For medical equipment, note down the make and model, the power requirements, and any other pertinent details. If you're dependent on glasses or hearing aids, make sure to include them too. Creating this list may feel a little scary. It's a stark reminder of our vulnerabilities, but it's also empowering. Having this list in hand means you're taking control of your situation. You're not leaving anything to chance. You're actively preparing to face any challenges that come your way. And remember, this isn't a one-time task. Medical needs can change over time, so it's important to update this list regularly. If you're diagnosed with a new condition or if your medication changes, your list should reflect that. Remember, preparation starts with understanding your specific needs, so take the time to understand your medical needs thoroughly. Once you've done that, you're already on your way to being well prepared for any power outage or emergency situation. Now that you've identified your needs, let's discuss how to store temperature-sensitive medications without power. Picture yourself in a world where electricity is a luxury. The hum of your fridge, a sound you've taken for granted, is now silent. But don't panic. Storing your life-saving medications doesn't have to be a daunting task. Let's delve into the best practices for keeping your medications safe and effective. Imagine your medications as a set of tropical fish. They thrive best in an environment with specific temperature standards. So, how do you maintain this without electricity? You can use coolers, ice packs, and insulated bags. These items can create a controlled environment for your medications, much like an aquarium does for fish. However, don't just toss your medications in there and forget about them. Monitoring the temperature is crucial. A simple thermometer can be your best friend in this situation. Keep it inside the cooler and check it regularly. You want to maintain a steady temperature, ideally between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius for most medications. But always check the storage instructions on your medication labels. Now think of your medications as a group of dancers. They don't want to be stuck in the same spot for too long. Rotate your supplies regularly. Keep using the oldest medications first and replace them with new ones. This rotation ensures your medications remain potent and don't expire before use. And lastly, keep your medications in their original containers with the labels intact. This way, you'll always know what you're taking, when to take it, and the dosage, so even in a world without electricity, you can still keep your medications safe. It might require some planning and a little extra effort, but your health and well-being are worth it. With the right strategies, you can ensure your medications remain effective even without power. Beyond medications, many of us rely on medical devices. But how can you keep them running during a blackout? This question is a real head-scratcher for most, but don't worry, we've got you covered. Medical devices such as CPAP machines for sleep apnea, nebulizers for respiratory conditions, and insulin pumps for diabetes are modern miracles. They keep us healthy and, in many cases, alive, but they also tend to rely on electricity. So when the power goes out, we need a plan to keep these devices operational. Let's start with CPAP machines. They are essential for people with sleep apnea, and going without it for even one night can be risky. Battery backups are a great solution here. These handy devices can power your CPAP machine for 1 to 2 nights, depending on the model. Next, we have nebulizers. These machines transform liquid medication into a mist, which is then inhaled. Many are already battery operated, but it's crucial to have a good stock of batteries on hand. Then there are insulin pumps. These devices are a lifeline for many people with diabetes. They deliver insulin throughout the day, helping to keep blood sugar levels stable. Some models have built-in battery backups, but it's a good idea to have manual insulin injection supplies as a backup. But what about long-term power outages? Well, solar chargers can be a game changer. These devices harness the power of the sun to charge batteries, perfect for devices like hearing aids, glucose monitors, and more. Of course, it's best to consult with your healthcare provider to create a personalized plan. They can advise you on the best backup power options for your specific medical devices. Whether it's a storm that knocks out power for a few hours or a more extensive blackout, having a plan in place is vital. We cannot control the weather or power grid, but we can control how prepared we are. Remember, your devices are lifelines. Plan to keep them operational, no matter what. In emergency situations, a comprehensive medical kit can make all the difference. But what should it include? Well, let's walk through the essentials. First, think about first aid supplies. Bandages, antiseptics, tweezers, medical tape, a digital thermometer, and a pair of medical-grade scissors are all must-haves. And let's not forget about over-the-counter remedies for common issues like allergies, diarrhea, or fever. Next, consider your prescription medications. If possible, keep a spare supply in your kit. This might require a chat with your doctor, but it's worth it for peace of mind. Now, don't overlook the importance of documentation. Hard copies of your prescriptions and medical records can be invaluable, especially if you find yourself in a place without digital access. Remember, the goal is to tailor your kit to your specific needs. What works for one person might not work for another. A well-stocked medical kit is your first line of defense in an emergency. Chronic conditions don't pause during power outages. So how can you manage them effectively? Let's tackle this head-on. Heart disease, diabetes, respiratory conditions, these aren't conditions that take a break when the lights go out. In fact, they can even be exacerbated by the stress of the situation. But fear not. With some preemptive steps, you can keep these conditions under control even when the grid is down. First, it's essential to have a clear understanding of your condition and what it requires. Know your symptoms, your triggers, and the first signs of trouble. This awareness can be a lifesaver when professional medical help might not be immediately available. Next, let's talk about medications. Many chronic conditions require regular medication, so it's crucial to have a sufficient supply on hand. Ideally, aim for at least a month's supply, more if you can manage it. And remember, store these medications correctly to maintain their effectiveness. Now, what if your medication supply starts to dwindle and you can't get a refill right away? This is where rationing can come into play. It's not an ideal scenario, but it's a reality we must prepare for. Start by understanding which medications are absolutely essential and which ones you might be able to do without for a short period. And always consult your healthcare provider about safe rationing strategies. If your condition requires regular testing, like blood sugar checks for diabetes, ensure you have enough supplies for these tests. These components can often be overlooked, but they are just as important as your medication. And lastly, don't forget about the power of a healthy lifestyle. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and stress management techniques can all help manage chronic conditions. These might seem basic, but they become even more critical during times of crisis. With proper planning, you can manage chronic conditions even in the toughest circumstances. Mobility challenges require special consideration during power outages. So what should you do? First and foremost, create a plan. This plan should include clear and accessible pathways around your home, even in the dark. Think about investing in solar-powered or battery-operated lights to guide your way when the power is out. Next, consider your mobility aids. If you rely on an electric wheelchair or scooter, make sure you have a manual backup, like a standard wheelchair or walker. And don't forget about charging solutions. Solar chargers or battery backups can be lifesavers here. Also, consider your vehicle. Is it accessible without power? If not, you may need to plan for an alternative mode of transport during an outage. Remember, communication is key. Make sure your support network knows about your plans and can assist if needed. With the right preparation, mobility challenges don't have to limit your ability to cope in an emergency. Knowledge is power, especially in emergencies. So, where should you start? The answer is simple. Training. One of the most effective ways to prepare for medical emergencies without power is by equipping yourself with basic medical knowledge. Seek out opportunities for first aid and CPR training, available through many community centers and online platforms. These skills can be life-saving in a crisis and are invaluable for any prepper. Moreover, understanding your specific medical needs or those of your dependents is essential. Whether it's knowing how to check blood sugar levels for diabetes management or administering injections, these are skills that can't be underestimated. Familiarize yourself with the procedures relevant to your situation. Practice them regularly to build confidence and ensure you can perform them under pressure. Next, consider learning about basic wound care, how to identify signs of infection, and when it's crucial to seek professional medical attention. This knowledge can help prevent minor injuries from turning into major problems. Additionally, knowing how to use the items in your emergency medical kit is just as important as having them. Understand the purpose of each item and how to use it effectively. If you have specialized equipment like a nebulizer or insulin pump, ensure you know how to operate them manually or with alternative power sources. Lastly, remember the importance of mental preparation. Facing a medical emergency without power can be intense and frightening. Mental resilience and a calm demeanor can significantly impact how effectively you manage the situation. Regularly visualizing potential scenarios and your responses to them can help prepare your mind for the real thing. With the right training, you're not just surviving an emergency, you're managing it. So equip yourself with knowledge and practice, and you'll be well prepared to handle whatever comes your way. Remember, it's not about fearing the future. It's about being prepared for it. And with preparation comes peace of mind.